Hi, friends. It's Angela with Wild Violets Art. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I wanted to let you know that I have lots of goodies to show you tonight. But first, I wanted to let you know that the new September to December catalog is now live. And so there's some wonderful stuff that I'm going to be showing you from here, but also the online exclusive pre-order is over and the product is also live. So there's tons of holiday goodies in both, but also some great everyday things. So you'll have lots to choose from. I also, I'll be making two cards tonight. We are featuring the Lights of Aurora Sweet Collection, and primarily, but this sweet little card includes the Jolly Delivery Bundle from Another Sweet, and I'll feature more of that later. But for now, this is just a combination. So these are the two cards that we're going to make. This one is mostly dies with a sentiment. This one is a stamped bear with some coloring, but the DSP is just phenomenal. So I'll show you that in a minute. So the Sweet Collection includes this beautiful set of dies that does great mountain and lake scenes. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. And it has all these really wonderful sentiments that I think that are not just good for the holidays, but also all year long. It's just, they're beautiful and they're really, really inspiring. Of course, like the Aurora Borealis. And then we have these gorgeous embellishments called frosted iridescent dots. You can see the colors are just really, really pretty. And then the DSP, and I'll show you that a little bit more. And then we have this great balmy blue sheer ribbon. So you can see how pretty that is. And it's got a little bit of an iridescent look to it. Okay, so let me just put this to the side. And then let me just show you the featured. So I created this a while back, but I didn't have cards that went with it. So now I have these two cards, but also actually three cards. But what I wanted to show you is this gorgeous DSP. I did bigger 3x3 pieces of this for my customers because I want them to see how beautiful all these different pieces are. So they've got some great coordinating colors on the back side. This one should have been flipped over. Oh well, as is this one. Most of them looks like I got upside down. Wasn't even paying attention when I put them in. So anyway, there's all these beautiful DSP pieces. Now it's a little different than normal. It's still 48 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, but you get more of each one. So you'll get 6 different designs and you'll get like 8 sheets of each. So you'll have plenty to work with. I like this a little bit better because, especially when I'm doing classes, hey Linda, it's so much nicer to be able to not have to buy 5 packs of paper to do a class. So that makes it really great. These are the coordinating colors. They didn't list basic white, but I think it definitely should be. Basic black, we've got Blackberry Bliss. We've got Berry Burst. We've got Petunia Pop, Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, Azure Afternoon. We have Balmy Blue, Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, and interesting enough, Very Vanilla. I don't see the Very Vanilla other than maybe here, this a little bit, but I don't know. Okay, but anyway, so this was just a sample that I made that's an overall, and I showed you last time that this makes great framed art. So if you imagine having this whole piece, and this is a 6x6 piece of cardstock, and of course I've got the Aurora Borealis upside down, but needless to say, would that make just an amazing piece of art? And I just layered every one of the dies This one is this just turned upside down, and then I added these up here just to make it look like there was shadows. But I just I liked shading these different colors. So we have the basic black in the front, and of course I had the same die using this opposite piece. This is the big die. These are 6 inches wide. Then here's the lake, and it's showing kind of a reflection of the DSP up above. And then we had more trees in the background, one set of mountains, a second set of mountains. And then, of course, this one, like I said, it's just the opposite of this one. So this is all these dies, one right after the other. And then, of course, I had the clouds, and I needed them to all kind of match. Don't want white clouds in a night sky. But anyway, you can just see it, just really, really beautiful layers. So this is one of the cards that I made, and again, I wanted to show the reflection of the lake. This time I got the Aurora Borealis going the right way. And you can see it's just on black cardstock with some embossing. So this was casing the catalog. And so I kind of changed it up a little bit, but and then this one was casing the catalog a little bit more than what they had. But again, this is on black cardstock. And I just love how just even stamping on the DSP made for a fabulous card. And then, of course, you've got these beautiful frosted iridescent dots. So, but you don't have to just do a silhouette. You can also do different colors, and that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm using two-tone cardstock, and you can see that each layer is actually two different tones of the same cardstock. So these two here are Pretty Peacock, these two are Lost Lagoon, and then these two are Pool Party. And so you can see that by having two-tone cardstock, it gives you so much more than what you normally would have. I didn't have to do any extra blending brushes or anything like that, but it just kind of gives you this feeling of depth in the card. So this is on a basic white A2 card size. So that's for the Sweet collection. You can see I have here featured the dots and the ribbon, and it just makes for a really great collection. All right. So I'm going to show you now, before I show you how to make these cards, some of the samples that I got, because it's just kind of a good little caveat here. The mini catalog is really fabulous. So if you have a chance to go through it, it's just beautiful. If you don't have one in person, you can download it from the webinar or the website, or go to my website, and you should be able to download it. And it just gives you some gorgeous pictures. They've done a great job of showcasing all their product. So here's one of the cards. This is a beautiful Merry Christmas embossed in gold. And this is done by Amanda Van Havermate. And I'm not sure where the cardstock, the DSP, comes from. I'm still trying to sort my way through all the new product. But you can see that's just a beautiful stamp, just all by itself here in the catalog on page 16. And then we have this beautiful stamp set, A Child is Born. And that, again, is on page 16. So it's got some great imagery and simple stamping. It's fabulous. So I love that. And then, of course, you've got more here. I don't have any from these two. Then we have Traditions of Christmas. I have a couple of samples from that. This shows the beautiful DSP, and you can see that it is able to be die cut. She didn't fussy cut. That's a die cut piece. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's got that gold shimmer. And then this is Merry and Bright. I love these little pieces, the labels. They're really, really pretty. So you're going to have to take a look at that, because it's really gorgeous. Now, I haven't seen these little stars. I'm going to have to try to figure out where she got these red stars from. So like I said, I haven't discovered everything yet. It's kind of hard when there is so much going on with both the cards and the online exclusive. So you can see this is the Traditions of Christmas Sweet collection. There's lots of pages of images. So you can see there's two. Actually, if you include this page, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's amazing. Okay, so this is the Sweet North Pole Delivery Suite Collection. This is where this fun little bear and sentiment came from, and also this ribbon. But I'll be showing you how to make this card tonight. This was part of my Stamp and Share for Leaders swap that I did. So we've got all these beautiful, this is a really great card. So this one had the gift packages and letters and the sentiment embossed in silver. So you can see how beautiful it is. And this one was done by Robin Rassett. You know what? I haven't been telling you who's done each one. So I apologize. Let's go back to that. This is Kristen Bryant. So she's a nice friend that I've made since I've moved here to Minnesota. This one here is, oh, she did some beautiful stuff on it. Kathy Seal on the inside as well. This one here was done by Holly Sutton Balta. Batla. Sorry, I'll get this straight. And this one is done by Robin Rassett. So super sweet. And then it looks like she used the, oh goodness, the Shaded Spruce and Soft Sea Foam ribbon. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's right behind the vehicle. So pretty cute. And then we have the Peaceful Gardens. I got a couple of samples of that. So this is beautiful. They used the shimmery cardstock. We'll feature that on one of my Marvelous Mondays. This is by Kayla Hagfors. And I love how beautiful that was done with the doves. And then this one here, Heartfelt Prayers. This one was done by Becky Edson. So really beautiful. I love the embossing folder that goes with this suite. And then, of course, we have the Lights of Aurora. So this was my swap. And just some fun coloring. And then, of course, I love this ribbon because it's just really soft and it looks like snow. And then there's this one here, beautiful. And this one was done by Dina Lenneman. So really beautiful. And then she used some shimmery dots. Those are really pretty. And then this one is Embrace the Wonder. She embossed a little bit in the white. And this one was done by Lisa Schultz. She always does beautiful work. And actually, it looks like this is just the back side of the DSP. So that's a great way of using a scrap. So I love that. We had that Autumn Toile, and Thinking of You Brings Joy to My Heart. So this is a different sentiment, but this is the DSP. But I think this embossing folder is in the online exclusive. So this is one of those really beautiful labels I was telling you about in the Traditions of Christmas. And then the next one is this Fluffy Squirrel bundle, and it's a punch and a stamp set. And she coordinated both of these ladies coordinated these. And did I talk about who did it? Sorry, this one was done by Lynn Fieldcamp. And then both of these using the Fluffy Squirrel, and they are featuring product from the Gathering Together Suite collection. So it's got some pretty leaves and little acorn. It's really sweet. So this one's done by Michelle Brannick and Amy Rich. So cute. And I think that's it for, nope, looks like there's one more. And then we have Happy Birthday from Happy Place. And it's got a great beach scene or Hawaii scene on the background. So that's really beautiful. And that's it for the catalog. But today, primarily, I am featuring the lights of Aurora. So let's leave these out so we can continue to reference them. And it almost looks like these, looks like they used the same, possibly the same DSP, but maybe not. It's a little bit different. It's really beautiful. Okay, so for these two cards, now I'm going to do this card first. It's a little bit easier, and I'll show you how I put this together. Okay. One of the things that I want to just note to you that it's interesting that when you put these dots, these frosted iridescent dots on black, they kind of turn almost orange, but I'm quite sure that this is supposed to be a different color. It may even be the white. I can't tell. When you put them on green, now I've used these colors on here. It picks up more of the green. And then, of course, now when you put it on white, you can see the colors really clearly. But it seems like when you put the black on, or anything on the black, it kind of removes the color a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I started with a regular A2 card in thick white. Let's just braze that real quick. All right, and then I used 4 by 4 inch pieces or 3 by 4, sorry, for each piece, because that's how I knew I'd need to have enough. So obviously, oh, I forgot a layer, looks like. Sure enough, I used Night of Navy. So let me grab that real quick. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't finish cutting it. Okay, so I'm using a 4 and 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of Night of Navy, because I really think it just kind of adds a really nice frame and a beautiful layer for that piece. Come on. Still learning how to like this. There we go. If I'm not careful, I notice that it seems to get a lot of glue around, and I'm not sure how to get it to stop doing that because it kind of holds it up and it dries out. Okay. All right, so we're just going to center that piece on. Okay, so by using a 3 by 4 inch piece, then now this looks like more like 3.5 inch by 4 inch piece. So I'll show you each one of the pieces that I used. So this one was cut out with this piece here, and you can see that I didn't go all the way down to the base because I needed a piece down below on my card. But the way we're going to put this together is by putting the sky in first, and I want the lightest side. This is a 3 by 4 inch piece, and I'm going to be putting that one in first. Then using again a 3 by 4 piece, I cut out the mountains using this side of the die. And the reason I used this side is because I liked the piece that goes with it, and they match up. So if you pay attention, make sure that you're following, because it's kind of the shadows behind the mountain. So if you line them up so that you have your peaks and valleys pretty much together, then it works a little bit better. So then those two pieces will get glued on. My first one that I made didn't match up as well. So this was like my, okay, let's do it better next time. And then obviously I have my clouds also done. And so we'll glue those on. And then I have this piece, which is die cut from this piece here. So you can have your water and your mountains wherever you want it. Now I wanted my water and my trees and my water to line up, because I think that I love the look of the lake and how it lines up. And so you'll want to, take a look at that. So this is the trees that I die cut this from. And then this one down here is the water. So you can see the water piece. So I wanted my water and these trees to line up so it looks like the river is flowing from a distance. So those will go in front of that. And then this is the trees that I showed you at the beginning, and that will go in front as well. So it just kind of adds this beautiful layer that goes with it. And then, of course, I have this extra little piece that I can add if I want. But if you put them close enough together, there's really not room. You can see where I added it because I just felt like they didn't match up like they were supposed to or line up. Okay, so now we kind of know the order of things. And so we can start adding them. So most of the pieces, like I said, are 3 by 4, but the one set of trees that it's at the very front, that one's going to be 3.5 inches by 4 inches. And again, this is the two-tone cardstock. And so both of these are the two tones of the pool party. When this runs out, I am tossing the bottle of sticky glue, because it's just this glue right here. But because it's stickier than the glue that they typically use, it just doesn't work. So don't try it. I just don't want to waste any of this glue because it took about 3.5 bottles to fill it. Okay, so I'm trying to line these up so that I still have this really nice border. So you'll want to be careful of that. Looks like this one could have lined up a little bit better. Come on. Don't stick yet. I placed it just a little too far down. There we go. And I'm not worrying about putting glue on the trees because actually it's okay if it pops up a little bit. This one can go down a little further. You can just see how subtle these are. These are both the Lost Lagoon colors. So just already you can just see how it just gives us this beautiful feeling of depth. And now I'm going to put the lake on. And I want the lake to come all the way up to the trees in that little valley. And then the final tree piece, I am going to put a little bit up in here because I don't want it to come up too much, but just a little bit. There we go. Okay, and now I do have a little bit more room than I thought I would. So I can add this. It just kind of makes it look like there's a little bit of a shadow. And I'm just going to add this here. And then I'll add my clouds. So I'm adding this one up at the top, and then this one over to the side and a little bit down. And then I'll add this one in the middle of both of those. And I think the white just makes it pop. And if you wanted to do white for the back, snow, a snowy mountain, I think that would be beautiful as well. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp Your Strength Inspires Me from the Light and Wonder stamp set. And I'll do that in Pretty Peacock. Let's see if I have. I'm ordering another set of blocks because I find that with all my card buffet items, as I am going through the month and preparing different card buffet kits, that I use up all my blocks having them all prepared like that. So I'm going to have to do a better job of having more blocks because I end up with all the kit blocks, which are my least favorite. They work, mind you, but I always get my fingers dirtier on those. Okay. All right, so I'm going to want to flag this. So I'm just going to cut this off like about a ½ inch away from the sentiment. And then typical, I just snip it in the middle. And then I've got my little flag. And I need a little length of ribbon. So it's been a while since I've made this card. So it looks like it's about 5 inches of ribbon. I'm going to do a little bit more than that. All right. And partly because I need to cut off a little bit of this. All right, so first I'm going to put some glue dots on here to have something for my ribbon to hold on to. And then I want my ribbon folded in half, and then it to go out both ways. And then I just want to make sure that this ribbon has enough glue dots to hold it down, because I'm going to need to next use my dimensionals, and I want it to hold it in place. Okay. And I'm going to take it all the way over to the left-hand side and bring it up just enough. I think this makes a great card to congratulate somebody that graduated or got a promotion or a birthday. I think it could be for any of those things. So it was 3.5 by 4 for the biggest one, and everything else was 3 by 4. And then I just kind of kept the cuts all the way up to the top and just let it layer underneath. And then you just work your way back from this part all the way to the front. Okay. So now our embellishments. Let me just put this back. So the colors, this has almost got a vanilla color to it, but just pretty. All right. I'm just going to bring these cards out just because I think they're such pretty inspiration. Okay. All right, so this one now. So this one is fun, and I love the Aurora Borealis, but I saw a card where somebody had just had on white this fun bear, and it was on Instagram that I saw it, and it looked like it was a Dutch or German demonstrator. And she had used, I think, Pool Party back in the background, and it was so pretty, and she had the ribbon across, but I thought it would really pop if I added the DSP behind it. So I've got the Jolly Delivery bundle, and we're going to use this bear, and as you can see, I've already stamped them out, and I'll just need to stamp out the sentiment. So this is Merry Christmas and a happy wishes. And then we're going to color the bear with these blends. So what I'm using is I'm using the lifter, I'm using the gray granite, the basic black, light, I believe, Pool Party, Petunia Pop, and Highland Heather. So those are the 3 color families, 4 including the gray, and then of course basic black. Okay, so get my sentiment. And of course I stamped this with Memento, but I used the Memento re-inker on a basic white pad, and I'm hoping, or not basic white, but the white craft pad, I'm hoping that they come out with one of these in Memento ink. It would be really helpful because I like the way it distributes the ink better. I don't like the cloth as much. It's funny because that's all we had back in the day. Okay, so we're starting with, let me get myself in order here. The A2 basic card, 5.5 by 8.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. So we have 4 1/4 by 5.5. And we're going to do it this way. So what I did is I had 2 of these. So looking at pictures online is what usually gets me, hey Judy, thanks for joining me. It gets me orientated because I don't always notice that which way the Aurora Borealis goes, but it actually comes down in streaks. And so this artwork was done with pastel chalks. So Stampin' Up! Does sell some pastel chalks, but I tell you, I don't know that I could ever have created this something this beautiful. She did just an amazing job. So I cut them in half and I used them both. So I used this bottom half on one card and then I'd use the top half on the other card. So this is 3 by 5 1/4 because I am using actually 3 inches by 5 1/8 because I am using a couple layers just to kind of help with framing out this really fun card. Okay, so this Highland Heather piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I'm using a basic black 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to place my 3-inch DSP. And like I said, let me show you what this looks like so that you kind of get an idea of what the full sheet looks like. So this is the full sheet, and you can see that I cut off, let's see how much I cut off here so I can, it's been a while since I've set this up. So I pretty much cut off 7/8 of an inch off of one side. And I can use those for my envelopes. And then I just cut them into 2 pieces. So they're 3 inches. And you can see that either one of them makes for a really beautiful background. Okay. So because there was so many of that one sheet, it made it really easy for me to do that. And just so you know, the streaks go upward. So just, you can take a look online and look at the pictures, but I didn't realize it until I did a little research after I put together my first couple of items. All right, so now I have a 1-inch strip by 5 1/8, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment using the Mento Black, and I want to stamp it over on the left-hand side. And I've already got ink on my hand. Looks like I didn't catch all of it. Good thing there's 2 sides. Let's try this again. Try not to get any more black ink on anything else. That's much better. Let's get this ink away from me. And let me just glue this on. So again, this is a 1-inch by 5 1/8, and I'll have this all on my blog. And then the ribbon is this white fluffy trim. And then I use a piece of tear and tape to hold it down. And I made 21 of these guys. And surprisingly, it didn't take that long for it to come together. And it looks like I got a little bit too much. And then once I have it laid down, then I can cut it off. Oops, it does unravel, so be careful. Let's see if I can do it without unraveling anything more. Okay, so this is the card base that is ready for the bear and the embellishment. Put away some of my stuff so I'm not Okay, so now for the coloring. So I started with the lightest gray, and I just added a little bit of gray. Oh wow, something's going on with my gray. It's got too much liquid. I have no idea what happened. I'll have to use the other end. And then I put some gray on because I kind of wanted it to look like the sun was, or the light from the aurora borealis was coming this way, just because that's where the lightest area was. So I wanted everything to have a shadow behind it. So I'm going to shadow where the packages are, the back end of the bear, down into its foot, its belly. And then I came in with this next darker layer and just added a little bit more under the belly, back here along the haunches, and then along the feet. And then I added a little bit of dark to the nose. Now the reason I did that is because I come back with the black and, oh man, all of them are not happy right now. That shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to have to lighten them up. So this is the nice thing about the lifter, is it does allow you to lift a mistake, but for some reason I'm getting a lot of liquid out of my pens today. Anyway, I'm going to blend a little bit of this color because I don't want it to be quite so distinct. I'm finding that they're bleeding an awful lot today. I'm not sure what that's about. It's just one big blob down here instead of distinct where it's supposed to be. I think I'm going to have to get another piece and start over, because you can see how it's just, I got done making a whole bunch of these and not a single one had that problem. So let's start over. So I just used like a 3x3 square. So let me grab my bear and start this over. I'm not sure what happened. With my blends, but they're not liking me today. Okay, let's try this again. Get my stamps cleaned up a little bit. Okay, let's try again. See if I can get this to behave itself. Okay, now it's doing just fine. Not sure what all that was about. So again, I'm using the lightest gray and just darkening the back side of the bear, the belly, underneath the leg, the feet, just areas that would be darkened by the sun coming down this direction. Okay, so that one worked. Let's try the next layer in Smoky Slate. This is working out much better. And then again, I'm just going to do a little bit at that nose. And then I'm going to come back with black, because what I want is just a little lighter spot on his nose. Let me see if you can see this. That just kind of makes it look like the light's shining on it. Okay, now I'm going to come back with the white for the lifter, and I'm just going to blend these edges a little bit so it's not quite so stark. Just kind of makes it look like it fades in a little bit better. Okay, so you can see this bear, how it just kind of fades in a little. It's not quite such a stark edge. Okay. All right, now to get this 3D look on the packages, I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so I pretty much, because this is a light color and my ribbon's darker, I did the lightest of the pool party all the way across my package. And then I came back a second time and darkened it a little bit. You can see the gradation. So there's like a section that's lighter and then it gets darker. And then I'm going to come back with the smaller one, or the darker of the two shades, and just darken that corner just a little bit. So you can see how it just does this really sweet gradation. Then I'm going to come back with the next color, which is the Petunia Pop. And it's doing it again. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what that's about. It's too much liquid. Phooey. I don't know if your blends have ever done this before, but I have not ever had this happen. Maybe because I used it so much in making my cards. I don't know. Let's get it to stop doing that. Okay, so again, I'm doing my package up at the top, and then I'm coming back at an angle and darkening the area just at an angle. And then I'm doing the bottom part of my ribbon, and again, just crazy liquid. Look at that. Look at how it just spreads. Arg. And then I can come back and darken that corner just a smidge. And thank goodness for the lifter. I don't get it. I'm going to have to redo this package altogether. All right, now for, let's see how this is doing. This is the Highland Heather, and I'm just coloring the entire thing. Maybe somebody watching this can tell me what it is I did wrong and why my blends would all of a sudden have so much liquid to them. They've just been laying sideways. They've not been held any funny way. They've just been laying here since I created the cards last week. So now I'm going to do a little bit darker color on the inside, or this little corner. And let's see if I can lighten up this mess that I've got here. Doesn't look like it wants to. Looks like it wants to stay dark. Oh well. All right. So now I would use the die. Here's my card. And I'm going to die cut out my bear. wrapping paper just looks a little messed up, but it's still cute. I'll send this one to my mom. She'll understand. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to pop up this guy on my card front, and I want his feet to be walking on this fluffy trim. So I'm not going to put any dimensionals on his feet. And then I'm going to place, so the nice thing about these is obviously all the colors, and I use the colors that are in these gems. So the Petunia Pop and the Highland Heather, and of course the Pool Party. So there we go. A little bit of blur, but just adds to it. Okay, that's all I have. Oh, no, I do have some more for you. So just to kind of show you a little bit about what this suite is coming from, this North Pole or Jolly Delivery bundle is from this really sweet little suite. And I'll do another Marvelous Monday all about this, because I think there's just so much you can do with it. They've got little punch outs. You can die cut the DSP. It's tons of fun. So I think there's lots to show you for the North Pole Suite Collection. So, all right. So now I'm going to show you the cards that are from the online exclusive. So they have a nice brochure that you can actually get that show everything. So if you're interested, let me know and I can send this to you. But we have the September 2025 online exclusive product list. And this is the Gathering Together Suite Collection. You remember those cute little squirrels? Well, these are 2 more cards from that suite. And you can see it's got a great leaf, but really fun little gold foil DSP. And I didn't buy this suite. I got the Toile instead. Okay, and then this is the Modern Christmas Suite Collection, and it's beautiful in black and gold and white. I think this sentiment has to be from the ephemera pack that you can get that's at the beginning of the catalog. And then this one, obviously they used the die from Peaceful Season. And then they used the check, but let me go back to these real quick. This one is done by Janine Pullman. And this is Sue Nunberger. And then this one is from Kelly Burkhart. Such a beautiful DSP with the gold foil. You can see, again, it's just really pretty. And this one, again, it just looks like it's been punched with that punch, which is fun. Right from the DSP, which is great. And again, the gold foil. And this is from Karen Titus. And then this one is Winter Scenes. And I'm not sure, this may be all from the Traditions of Christmas. But then, these are a different set of dies. But she colored this, and this is Carol Johnson. And then we have another suite called Elegant Pine Snowflakes, and these are all in the online exclusive. So the Gathering Together, the Modern Christmas Suite, and then Elegant Pine Snowflake Suite. Really beautiful. Look at that paper. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is Mary Alice Bellis, Elegant Pine Snowflake Suite. So really beautiful. And then this cute little Festive Friends bundle. It's got a little snowman, little elf, and a Santa. That's sweet. And I think this is Traditions of Christmas DSP. And then she used a snowflake embossing folder, which I don't recognize. So I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe retired. And then this is from Betty Weisbridge. So such a cutie. Really fun. That's all I have for you tonight. And I hope you enjoyed everything I showed you. Reach out if you have questions. If something wasn't clear on my instructions, like I said, I'll have these 2 cards on my blog here in the next week or so. I'm a little behind. Just work has gotten a little bit overwhelming. So we're working on that. But thank you so much for joining me. It's Angela with Wild Violets Art. I'll have this uploaded tonight on YouTube. And have a great evening. If you are new to my YouTube, please like and subscribe or share it with a friend. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.